Okay students, in this video we will discuss about our next chapter, that is fourth chapter, Animal Kingdom. Okay, see here we are discussing about the first unit, that is biodiversity in living world. Within this unit we have four chapters: living world, biological classification, plant kingdom and animal kingdom. We have completed our animal kingdom. Okay, now we have completed plant kingdom. Now we are discussing about animal kingdom. Okay, so as we have already known that there are in living world and also in biological classification, we have studied about total number of living organisms which are present on the earth. Say it is estimated that nearly 15 to 30 million species are present on earth, out of which only 1.7 million species have been identified. What do you mean by identified? It means it has been classified, it has been identified, classified and also named. You know what is identification, you know what is classification, what is nomenclature, that is binomial nomenclature. So first, in order to identify an organism or in order to name an organism, we need to first classify them and we need to identify them. So that for the classification system we have taxonomical hierarchy. Within the taxonomical hierarchy there is just a second. Within a taxonomical hierarchy, first there is a species. Species combined together to form genus. Genus combined together to form families. Family combined together to form order. Order combined together to form class. Class combined together to form division or phylum. Phylums combined together to form kingdom, isn't it? So in kingdom, next is division, next is division or phylum, next is class, order, family, genus, species. Okay, so division is for plants and phylum is for animals. Okay, so next is, in order to classify we need to know a taxonomical hierarchy. So on what basis this taxonomical hierarchy is done? This taxonomical hierarchy is done based upon the similar characters. Organisms which are having similar characters are grouped together. Say, what is species? Species is a group of organisms, group of same type of organisms living together in one particular area and interbreeding among themselves are called as species. Group of same type of organisms are called as species. All the same type of organisms are grouped under one species. Same type of species are grouped under genus. Same type of genus are grouped under same family. So here similar characters are considered to classify an organism. In the same way, we have discussed in biological classification that R.H. Whittaker gave a 5 kingdom classification, isn't it? R.H. Whittaker gave 5 kingdom classification. According to R.H. Whittaker's 5 kingdom classification, first one is algae. Sorry, it is not algae. Monera, Protista, fungi, plantae and animalia, isn't it? So under plantae we have again 5 divisions: algae, bryophyta, pteridophyta, gymnosperms, angiosperms. Again in animals we have number of phylums. Okay, there are various number of phylums. First, before entering into the different phylums, first we need to study certain basic characters upon which this phylum classification has been done, or upon which characters this classification or the organisms is put into different phylums. So in order to study that, we need to know certain characters. Those bases of classification, those characters are called as what? Bases of classification. On these characters they have been classified into different phylums. So which are those characters? First one is cellular organization or levels of organization. Third one is body symmetry. third one is body coelom, next one is germ layers, segmentation and notochord. First we will discuss our first character, that is levels of organization. See, as we have already discussed, there are organisms of various levels of organization can be seen. There are many organisms which are still acellular, which are not at all complete cell, like mycoplasma, like viroids. They are not complete cell. Then we have studied about cellular organisms which are having single celled organisms. Next is multicellular organisms we have studied. Next we have studied about tissue level of organization, organ system level of organization. Like that, in animals also there are number of organisms which are at the cellular level of organization. Some organisms they are at the tissue level of organization. Some organisms are at the organ and organ system level of organization. Organ and organ system level of organization. Some organisms are at different levels. So, based upon this character, which organisms are present in still cellular form, they are grouped in one phylum. The organisms which are present at the tissue grade, they are present in different phylum. The organisms which are present at the organism or organ system level of organization, they are present at the different phylum. This is one of the basic character, whether it is still a cellular or cells have combined together to form tissues, tissues have combined together to form organs, and organs have combined together to form organ system, giving rise to a complete organism. Based upon this character, we have classified a phylum into different types. Next one is symmetry. Symmetry is nothing but how an organism is cut. When an organism is cut into two equal parts, or when an organism is cut, how many parts or how many equal parts are coming. So, based upon this also the phylum classification has been done, or the organism is put into particular phylum. Here basically we can observe two types of symmetry, that is bilateral symmetry and another one is radial symmetry. Bilateral symmetry is a type of symmetry where, see here, I will clearly define, see here, this is an example, butterfly is an example for bilateral symmetry. It can be defined as formation of two equal parts when an organism is cut into half, passing through the center in only one plane, passing through the center. That is formation of, see I am repeating one more times, formation of two equal parts when an organism is cut into half, passing through one plane, passing through single plane, passing through the center, passing through the single plane, passing through the center. If an organism is cut into only this part, only passing through this line, then if we get to two equal parts, then it is called as a bilateral symmetry. Formation of two equal parts when an organism is cut into half, passing through the center, in only one plane, passing through the center. Formation of two equal parts when an organism is cut into half in a single plane, passing through the center. If we cut an organism in a single plane passing through the center, we will get two equal parts, then it is called as bilateral symmetry. Okay, here we are cutting this organism into half, but passing through the center in only one plane, in only this direction only we should cut. If we cut as such and we will get two equal parts, then such type of organisms are called as a bilateral symmetry. There are some organisms where when an organism, formation of two equal parts will take place when an organism is cut in any plane passing through the center. See here, best example is starfish. I will not cut this organism into single direction or a single plane. I will cut this animal into different planes. I can cut into this plane, I can cut into this plane, I can cut into this plane, or I can cut into this plane. In any plane I will cut, but the condition is it should pass through the center. I will cut an animal in any plane passing through the center, then if I get to two equal parts, then such type of organisms are called as a radially symmetrical organisms. See here, there is a difference between bilateral symmetry and radial symmetry. Bilateral symmetry is a type of symmetry where two equal parts are formed when an organism is cut into half in only one plane passing through the center. I will cut this organism in only one plane passing through the center. Then if I get two equal parts, then such type of organisms are called as bilaterally symmetrical organisms. Suppose if an organism is cut into half in any plane, see here, in any plane passing through the center, but the condition is it should pass through the center. Then also if I get two equal parts, then such type of organisms are called as what? Such type of organisms are called as a radially symmetrical organisms. So this is also considered for classification of organisms. Say for example, the organism is showing bilateral symmetry, it is put in one phylum. If the organism showing is radial symmetry, then these organisms are put into separate phylum. This is one criteria for classification of animals. Next one is germ layers. Germ layers means during the embryonic stages of development, there are three layers which will give rise to the complete structure of a complete adult body. That one is called as germ layers. Usually it is made up of ectoderm, outer ectoderm, inner endoderm, middle mesoderm. Three germ layers are present. If an organism in its embryonic development, three germ layers are present, that is outer ectoderm, inner endoderm, middle mesoderm, then such type of organisms are called as what? Such type of organisms are called as triploblastic organisms. What are triploblastic organisms? Triploblastic organisms are the organisms which have three germ layers in their embryonic development. Which are those three layers? Outer ectoderm, inner endoderm, and middle mesoderm. In some organisms, what happens is there is only two germ layers, that is outer ectoderm and inner endoderm. There is no middle mesoderm, but a non-living layer called as mesoglia is present in the middle. Then such type of organisms are called as diploblastic organisms. One is triploblastic and another one is diploblastic. Next one is body coelom. Coelom is nothing but body cavity. Within the body, cavity is there, then such type of organisms are called as coelomic organisms. Say for example, we human beings, we have nerves, we have veins. Within the veins or within the nerves, within the digestive system, colon, there is a hollow, empty structure within which the molecules move. Say for example, blood will move within the hole, or food will move within the hollow structure of the digestive system. So there is a tube-like structure. So everything is passing within the tube. Such type of, so here there is a cavity for movement. Whereas in some organisms, what happens is, this is just a body, here is an heart, usually heart pumps the blood, that's it. There is no certain veins or veinlets or nerves to carry this blood, just it pumps, and just like bore water, it falls on the different parts, different organs, and this is how all the organs are bathed by the blood. There is no such cavity to carry, there is no such pipeline to carry the things which are produced within an organ. So, or anything, suppose say for example, if it is digestive system, it is food, if it is a circulatory system, it is blood, anything which can be moved within those cavity. If the cavity is present, such type of organisms are called as coelomic. Some organisms do not have body cavity, such type of organisms are called as acoelomic or acoelomates. Then how this coelom is formed? See here, coelom is nothing but an organism which is having outer ectoderm, inner endoderm, whereas middle mesoderm is broken down, or there is a gap between inner endoderm and middle mesoderm. There is a fluid filled gap between inner endoderm and middle mesoderm. If this gap is present, such type of organisms are called as what? Such type of organisms are called as coelomic animals. Sometimes what happens is, this endoderm, middle mesoderm breaks into different parts. It just breaks. It is present, but it is broken into number of pieces. Such type of organisms are called as pseudocoelom, half present, half absent. In some organisms, there is no such differentiation between mesoderm and endoderm. There is a complete layers starting from endoderm, mesoderm, and ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm. There is no such cavity in between mesoderm and endoderm. Such type of organisms are called as acoelomates. There is no cavity within the body. Whatever the organ produce, it is just poured out of the organ, and it just flows down and it reaches all the organs. Whether the organisms are having coelom, whether the organisms are coelomates, whether the organisms are acoelomates, whether the organisms are pseudocoelomates, based upon this also there is a classification has been done in the animal kingdom. So, to classify to which phylum an organism should belong. Next one is body segmentation. So, various organisms, not in the human beings we cannot see segmentation, but in various other organisms like earthworms, like prawns and other organisms, there is body is divided into number of pieces, and these pieces are joined together. Based upon this also, based upon the body segmentation also, there is a classification has been done, or phylums are divided. Okay, so this segmentation is called as metamerism. If organism is having number of segments, it is grouped into one phylum. If the organisms are not having any segments or metamers, then they are grouped into different kingdom. Based upon this also, the organisms have been classified. Next one is the last important point, presence of notochord. Notochord is nothing but notochord which gives rise to vertebral column when organism completely develops. Vertebral column which every organism have, not every organism, all the chordates organism which we have, that one is called as a vertebral column. It has come from notochord. Okay, during the embryonic stages, sorry. During the embryonic stages, if notochord is present, such type of organisms are called as chordate. If notochord is not present, then it will not give rise to what? It will not give rise to vertebral column. Such organisms are called as non-chordates. So, human beings, fishes, amphibians, reptiles, aves, mammals, all these group of organisms have vertebral column or notochord during their embryonic development. Such type of organisms are called as chordates. The organisms which are not having notochord, it is present in the embryonic stage, it develops and gives rise to vertebral column. This you should keep in mind, and there should not be confusion between what is notochord and what is vertebral column. Okay, vertebral column, it is present in the adult organisms, notochord, it is present in the embryonic development. If during the embryonic development, if notochord is present, the organisms are called as chordates. If notochord is absent, then they are called as non-chordates. Okay, based upon these characters, there are different phylums. So, see here, kingdom, Animalia, depending upon the level of organization. If the organization is cellular level, if the organisms are just at the cellular level, then there is a phylum called as Porifera. If there is a tissue organ system of classification, then these many different phylums are there. If there is a cellular organization, but their body symmetry is asymmetrical, they are not having any symmetry, I cannot get two equal parts if I cut in one plane or in any plane, such type of organisms are called as asymmetric organisms. So, all the asymmetric and acoelomate all organisms are grouped under Porifera. Next one is, some are having, coming to the tissue or organ system of classification, some are having radial symmetry, but they are acoelomate. There are two different phylums for this, that is Coelenterata. Next one is Ctenophora. If there is bilateral symmetry and without body cavity acoelomates, they are called as Platyhelminthes. Bilateral symmetry with pseudocoelomates, they are called as Aschelminthes. Then there is bilateral symmetry with coelom, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Chordata, Hemichordata and Chordata. These are the different phylums. I hope you have got this point. This is very important for us to move further.